Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Companion Podcast. I'm Nathan. Who are you?
I'm JC.
How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my beautiful fiance, JC. So, yeah. Alright, we had WrestleMania weekend. Because it was pretty much all weekend. Actually, I know pretty much it was. And extended all the way to Monday. It's in the books. 41.
Mm-hmm.
This is your second WrestleMania.
Yes, indeed.
How do you feel after the weekend? Well, I don't want you to get, too far into, like, what happened and everything. Just, overall, as a whole, how do you feel walking away from it?
Still think 40 was better, but...
Oh, yeah. But I think we're doing ourselves a disservice if we, compare it, in that way, because I feel like 40 was just like its own entity that, like, to compare really any other WrestleMania to it is just kind of unfair, because you got to think the biggest driving force for 40 was the Bloodline storyline, and that was like a culmination of like 4 years. So this big huge storyline basically ended there. I mean, there was some, trickle out of it, like, afterwards, but, that was, like, the big, so, it's hard to, like, compare it to
I've
that.
only seen 2.
I know, but still.
It wasn't bad. There are some matches that I think were amazing, and some matches that were, like, meh. I kind of expected more from them. But all around, not bad. Not disappointed.
Well, that's good. No, I think the biggest thing coming out of this WrestleMania weekend, for me, is it's really, I don't want to say so much the story of, like, triple threat matches, because there were some other, let's just say the story of multi-man or multi-woman matches. And the biggest was all the triple threats. Because for me personally, I think the 3 best matches this whole weekend, and there was a close 4th that was, like, really close to 3rd, is all triple threats. Literally, it was the NXT Championship, which I know you didn't watch, but Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans, like, it didn't have the story aspect that, of the magnitude that, like, Roman, Punk, and them had, but it was just, it was so good. It was so good. And, like, literally, like, right there is our night 1 main event, man. It was so good. That triple threat, we'll get into it in a sec, but, and then the Women's World Championship, it didn't have the story. The story was kind of goofy all over the place, but they did kind of wrap it up with, Io getting her respect, making it happen, and that match was awesome. But no, it was, I don't know. I think night 1 really rocked. It had some slow down times, but I think overall, I don't even know, because, overall, it's hard because the main event of night 2, we'll get into it, but it was what it was. But I want to say night 2 was, like, overall it felt better than night 1, but I don't know. Because there were down times of, like, why are we here? Or this is kind of silly and kind of dumb. Of both nights, just night 2 had some that were of a magnitude that, like, shouldn't happen. So, All right, let's enough dilly dallying. Let's get into it. So, the night kicked off with the World Heavyweight Championship between Gunther and Jey Uso. It was a good match. It wasn't anything crazy. Jey Uso was pulling new moves out of his bag, which is good. That's what he needs,
Finally.
especially if he's gonna be world champion. You know, we don't need the same
Super
four
kick.
moves. You know, super kick,
Uso
super
splash.
kick, Uso splash. You know, spear. Sorry, buddy. You know, like it's the same moves, so I like that. You know, he's showing wrinkles. So for me, I just felt like it needed to be a little bit more violent. I know that's kind of like, I don't know, like it was violent. The story they were telling, I felt like the match we watched didn't live up to the story they were telling. Like, it should have been, I don't know. I don't know if I would have felt better if there was blood. I don't know if that's what it was missing, or I don't know. I've done enough talking about this. I will say Jey Uso is the right winner, absolutely. Now that I look on it now, I didn't so much in like when it happened. I didn't like it, him tapping him out. But looking back at it now, I kind of like it. That's my take. I've done so much talking. Your take on the World Heavyweight Championship match?
The whole tapping out, I think it was too quick. Like, it was just
Yeah.
like a...
It was like literally,
Put you in a
he
chokehold.
should have let it breathe just a little bit longer. Like, struggle a little bit more. I know you got hit with like 3 Uso splashes in a row, but like, come on. It was like he locked it in. It was like, I don't know, like 2 seconds, and then he tapped. Like, so.
I do agree. I'm happy Jay won. Finally getting that title reign he deserves.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he can keep it longer than, 2 weeks, like the Intercontinental.
Yeah, I think it was like 2
Championship.
weeks. Something like that.
That pissed me off. Prefer not to have that again. Especially since they added the blue to that belt when he won it, and then he immediately lost it. And I was like,
And then they kept it.
yeah,
I like it though.
I do too.
I like the
it.
blue was here to stay. I like that.
But,
I
like,
think they did that and then realized that it was a
looked good.
cold, and they were like, okay, we're keeping it.
But it was like, okay. Especially since that match you woke me up from my slumber. But I'm happy he's gonna have his title run. I'm excited to see what he does with it. I'm excited to see what Gunther does next as well. I think it's gonna be a good story for both of them for what's to come. I kind of agree. I don't know if it's because it was the first match, and I don't know. I think that with what they were building, it should have been a little bit more, in my opinion. And again, the ending was just kind of like, oh, Jay won. Cool. You know, it wasn't like oh my god, he
I feel like if they would have let that, like, the choke breathe a little bit more, and like let Gunther be like and like reach for the ropes, you know. Like, I know he got hit with like his finisher. I get it. He got hit, and that's why he should have gotten it. But like, you needed to let it breathe a little bit more, because it literally was just like he did it, and in everybody's mind we're like, no way he makes him tap, and then he did it, and we're just like, oh. Like, if you would have let it breathe, we would have been like, no way, no way, no way. Oh my goodness, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? And then he finally does it, and we're like, oh my god. You know, that's what I feel like they were going for, and it was a bit rushed. So
I think he should have put him to sleep.
Ooh, that would have been interesting.
That's what I thought they were gonna do.
No, I think it's something in the story. I think there's something to making him physically like, no, you quit. You could have let yourself, you know,
go out.
your body could have just shut down on you, but you didn't. You tapped out like a little chicken.
Sure.
And we'll kind of briefly touch on it because I did a Raw rundown check that out on YouTube and our Patreon and all kinds of other else. You can get our videos and podcasts. But so I touched on that more, but we'll briefly touch on like it as it pertains to like the match, if they did it on Raw, so it doesn't pertain to all of these. But the Gunther crash out, I'm loving it. I think we're leading to Pat McAfee versus Gunther, and I'm kind of digging it because you got to get some aura back for Gunther. He just tapped at WrestleMania, so him just like in a match, absolutely just destroying Pat McAfee, who people love. That's gonna give him heat, and it's gonna give him a little bit of aura back. Mm-hmm. So I love that. The Jay promo, pretty cookie cutter, championship celebration type of promo. I did it, great, and he deserved it. So let him eat, let everybody eat. I love the moment with Jimmy and then Sammy. I saw you looking. He was staring at it. It was almost uncomfortable the way he was looking at it. Like, you gotta keep an eye on Sammy. I know he's the honorary Oos and all that, but I got my eyes on you. Anyways, from there, the World Tag Team Championship. I will let you take the floor on this because
I'm happy who won, but I honestly don't really remember the match. Hot take. Sorry. Whoop.
I remember War Raiders bum ass entrance, fucking promoting Clash of Clans, looking like goofy. They just look so goofy. Like they're not even Vikings anymore. They dropped that. They're like cool biker guys. They're cool badasses. Like let them be that. And it just. And then the whole Drew McIntyre thing, it was also very forced and goofy with his, like, sponsor entrance. I know, I'm just saying, I'm still staying on this with the whole sponsored entrance, like, gear. Not a fan.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't remember much of it. I did like how...
I think that's it was a great Monday Night Raw match.
Yeah. And, like, I like how, New Day came out on top, and I like how they won and then kind of ran away with the belts. They didn't, like, stay in the ring. Like, they kind of made it seem like they, I don't know.
Like they stole them.
They stole them, yeah.
The best part of this match, because, like you said, and it was pretty much forgettable, like, sorry to say, the New Day are great, they're one of the best tag teams of all time. And the War Raiders, they can cook, man. But it was a match we didn't want. Well, it was not necessarily a match we didn't want. It was a match we didn't want on Mania. We have that freaking TLC, tag team TLC going on SmackDown that should have been on Mania, so that just already left a sour taste in our mouth going into this. And I think that's why this just never got off the ground, and, they just kind of did a run-of-the-mill Monday Night Raw match, and it was just okay. And literally the highlight of the entire match was them getting a cheeky win, and then them grabbing them belts and running away like they stole them. Yeah. They're like, oh, gotta go. Gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
I am happy for them, though. But I know a lot of people were upset because Big E didn't come back and all of that. But I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get a Big E,
I think
sort of thing.
I mean,
I think
at
it'd
the
be
end
nice,
of the day,
but...
we may just, that may be the end of Big E. It's sad to say, but like maybe that was the way they wanted to write him off. Maybe he was like, hey, I want to get written off so I can try and boost them up. In a heel way, but it's still boosting them up in their shine. So,
and if he's happy,
if he's happy doing, he does all the pre-shows and post-shows, and he seems very happy with the life he's living. So
Why not?
You know,
But
let Big E live, man.
on to the next.
After that, I want to say it was the Naomi and Jade Cargill match. Here, I'll try and briefly talk about this match. I won't get too crazy much into it, so I'll let you talk. Loved that we debuted the new Naomi song here at WrestleMania. Great that it wasn't absolutely trash. It wasn't like proceed with caution, Naomi, or something stupid like they do. You know, like they role model. You know, they like to do stupid shit like
Don't
that.
attack Bailey right now.
Yeah, she wasn't even there. She doesn't deserve my criticism. She gets enough flack from me anyways. But no, it wasn't anything like stupid like that. It was like a nice rock song, and it was fitting, and I love the the Titantron and everything. It was cool, so loved it. And the match was nothing crazy. It was pretty run of the mill. I think they did what they needed to do for Jade to make her look like a superstar, at the same time making Naomi walk away as still have her shine. I don't think we're walking away from this match being like, man, Naomi got buried, We're like, oh, we're excited. Like, I think this Naomi is world championship material. Like, you could put a belt on this heel Naomi. So, sky's the limit for them. So, that's pretty much my take. Didn't like the goofy entrance for Jade. Hot take.
That's not a hot take. That was, you had Naomi come in with her new song and her badass.
You got
entrance
Weatherman Steve from the local radio shack.
What was that?
I don't know, man. It was goofy and corny.
I thought it was a commercial.
I did too at first. I was like, dang, we're going to commercials?
Like,
I was like, this is like, we're about to start this match.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm very happy for Naomi. I am excited to see this new heel turn. I love that we had a lot of heel turns this Mania. We'll obviously get into more, but I'm very happy with some of the... Oh, well, that was on Raw. Whoops.
Yeah, well,
spoiler.
We'll get into it once we get to night 2, but yeah.
But, I don't know. I'm excited to see what she does.
We'll get into it a little bit more here in a little bit, but I think all of, the shakeups of, a heel turn here or a gimmick change there, this women's division on both sides and even NXT, like, all together, like, it makes sense why there's rumors of women's the Evolution premium live event, which is like all women's premium live event. Like, it's rumored, like, because they are cooking and they are great. And we are in great hands, I think. So, yeah, that's my take on that. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I don't know if I'm on the Jade train. I don't know. I don't know. I wanted my girl to win, and I know this is going to be great for her storyline.
Is there something not working for you for Jade? Is it...
I feel like they kind of make her, like, Super Bianca Part 2. You know what I mean? Like, you can do this, that, and the other on her, and she's like, let me do my one move and you're done. I don't know. It could change. We haven't seen her in a while, so I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt I need to give her more time.
Yeah, and she's still green on singles matches. You got to think about that.
Yeah, so...
I mean, she's probably in the WWE, because we don't count outside of WWE at this moment in time. Singles matches, you probably count on one hand. Maybe extended to singles matches she's had. Not a lot.
Yeah, so...
She's been,
I don't know.
So, anyways, I think... I want to say the next match was Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano.
I love Rey Fenix. I am so excited for this dude. I love him flying and jumping and all his tricks. Really upset he did not get the dub on his debut, but hey...
See,
we'll see some
I will say, it was needed because the ceiling for El Grande Americano is Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's got to be the one.
Yeah.
He's got to be the one to beat him. He's got to be the one to, take the mask off and reveal who this is.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
But I think...
And I think that's what it was supposed to be. And they did what they could with the unexpected injury, unfortunately. So for people who didn't watch it, WrestleMania, and if you didn't, you need to go watch it. Unfortunately, Rey Mysterio got hurt on Friday Night SmackDown, and he got replaced with Rey Fenix. And I knew from the get-go that when Rey Fenix got signed, that you were going to love him. I was like, she's going to love him. She loves the lucha style. She loves high-flying. She loves all that aerial stuff. And that's Rey Fenix's bag. So I was like, yeah, she's going to love Rey Fenix.
Hey, I got a Phoenix tattoo, so I think it was meant to be,
hey,
you know?
There you go. But no, I thought the match was great. I loved it. Rey Fenix was cooking. Sorry.
Finish.
Sorry. Well, I was going to, and then you interrupted me too.
I started first.
Sorry. You say your thought.
Anyways, I think Ray did a really good job. I was wondering how... I know he was on AEW and everything, but, when he kicked El Grande...
Americano!
And, when he, went to kick him... And he had the metal plate in his mask, and we all saw him put the metal in there. I totally forgot about it.
I know,
thought
it was
Ray
crazy.
Got hurt, and I was like, "Oh motherfucker!" Oh, sorry. I didn't want him to get hurt or mess up his first time. His first WrestleMania, all of that. And then we were like, "Oh my god, that's right. He had the plate in his mask." So I was like, "He sold it so well. I think he did great."
Real quick, not to interrupt. Have you seen the clips of it was Penta? He was in a hat and he had a bandana and he watched his brother.
Oh really?
And he was almost in tears watching his brother in his
didn't.
WrestleMania debut. It was nice.
I saw Liv with Dom. Spoilers ahead, but yeah, I'm very excited to see where both these storylines go. Ray, you definitely got a fan out of me.
I'm telling you, they're definitely trying to lean towards dropping the Ray and just going to Phoenix. I'm telling you, but
really, dropping the Ray and going.
Yeah,
to
going
Phoenix.
Dropping Ray Phoenix and just going to Phoenix. I don't know though.
I bet you
we'll see.
so.
We'll
too.
see. I could also see them having him he drops it and then when Rey Mysterio retires, he picks up Ray.
That's what I was wondering.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe they don't. I don't. I see. Yeah, I didn't know if they wanted that. Maybe that's why they're trying to baby step him and being like, "Hey, you want to drop that, buddy?"
Yeah.
But they don't want to be disrespectful. Hey. But no, I thought the match was great. It wasn't crazy long, which obviously, with there being an injury and them trying to piece this all together, it works out well because, Rey Mysterio is a high-flying luchador, and so is Rey Fenix. So, it's just, tweak here, tweak there, but, just keep it basic and just, do what they needed to do. And I thought that it was great. Next up, we had so I will say, I thought it was a great match. It was a fantastic match. One of, besides, the main event, the crowd-wise, one of, their favorite matches, it seemed like LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
I've never been more happy in losing points in my life because I thought they were still going to have LA keep the belt. I thought Solo was going to interfere. Because deep down inside, I was like, give my man Jacob that belt. But I didn't. I didn't think we were going to pull the trigger on it. I really thought they were going to go with the Solo Jacob bloodline.
You were really on the train of, Solo was going to...
Yeah. So
I liked he kind of hyped him up and then sent him off.
But see, that's when I saw that, I said, oh no. But no, I'm very happy they did finally pull the trigger on Jacob. That man definitely deserves a belt. I'm happy he has it. I'm very excited to see what we're gonna do with it. I mean, I don't know.
He's the new king of the mid card.
Who's gonna take it off?
Yeah, he's the new king of the mid card. He's probably gonna have a lengthy run.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And he's probably gonna have some great feuds. I thought it was great. I love that it wasn't a squash match.
Agreed.
I had some worry in the back of my mind that they were just gonna have Jacob run through him.
Yeah.
And I mean, on one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, I love that they didn't, because they did exactly what they needed to do, which was make Jacob look like an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. But they did it without making LA Knight look like a jabroni.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, he looked great too. It was probably LA Knight's one of his best matches in his entire career.
Yeah.
And that's, like, not even, like, close. Like, that BFT from the moonsault out of nowhere? Are you kidding me? Get out of here. That was crazy. I thought it was over right there. And then he grabbed the rope. I was like, oh my God. And then when Jacob Fatu hit that last moonsault for that 1, 2, 3, that crowd went nuts. Yeah. Nothing. Yeah, we'll see what develops on SmackDown. But yeah. All right. I'll let you take the floor first on this one, because
who it is, I think. Is it who I think
it is? Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship. My love. Thoughts?
Okay. I know Charlotte's Charlotte. Still don't think she should have came out second. I think Tiffy should have still came out last. Whatever.
Yeah.
And why was Charlotte in pink? We all know pink's Tiffy's color. Come on.
So I really didn't like that, because it made for points where you didn't really know who was who, because they were basically wearing the same outfit.
They're both
so that was a
blonde
bad
and they're
move.
both in
Yeah,
pink.
that was
I'm
a bad
like,
move.
are you kidding me? Oh, I think, okay, don't get me wrong. I'm a Tiffy girl. I love my girl. I think she kicks ass when she's in the ring. I think there was some little mess ups here and there. I feel like I saw some flukes. Sorry, I can't think of words right now. I don't think it was perfect.
I will say, sorry not to interrupt you, I'm just going to add a little thing and then I'll let you talk. The biggest thing I'll say two things from this match was they didn't really have a lot of chemistry. They didn't. So I liked when they were like kind of shoot fighting in the beginning, where it just looked like they were just fighting. They were scrapping. But when they tried to like wrestle and do moves, there were points where, like you were saying, there were botches.
Yeah.
That's
the word.
There were like somebody standing around, hey, wait, it's your move, kind of deal. And then it was also stiff. At the end, that was stiff.
I think we got a little personal. I think there was some personal things from this feud going on. Obviously, we know the jabs that were made before. I think, that might have creeped in a little bit towards the end of that match. But at the same time, even though there were some mistakes, I think they allowed some highlight on Tiffy. I think it showed that she can hold her ground. I mean, everyone sees Charlotte as, I'm not trying to discredit her. She's an amazing wrestler. How long has she been wrestling? She's made her way up to where she is. So I think it's a good thing to show that Tiffy was like, hey, I did this. You know what I mean? And she beat her clean. There was no interferences or anything. And obviously Tiffany left with some bump on her forehead, and I swear her tooth is chipped.
I think she did chip her tooth. I don't know.
People think it was I can't think of the word for her interviews and stuff, like a fake teeth, because it looked chipped, and she was bleeding. But I'm not like the happiest of what the match was. I think, of course, there could have been some better things, but I'm not I feel like it got some more hate than it deserved, in my opinion. I thought it was pretty good.
So, that's a hot take. I think pretty good is a hot take for that match. I will say...
You expected it to be more.
I will give it... Yeah, I will say that did a disservice for me. My expectations were so high that they obviously... It was unfair for me. It was unfair for you. It was unfair for all of us. to assume we were gonna have a Charlotte Flair like versus this new up and comer WrestleMania like amazing match. Not all Charlotte Flair WrestleMania matches are that. We just have some of those. We expected a Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley. We expected a Charlotte Flair Asuka. But we didn't. You gotta think their chemistry was better. There were situations, Charlotte was apparently more okay with doing the job for them, kind of deal. And so there were so many of those things that like went into this. Plus, they just didn't seem like they had good chemistry together. I wish they would have just kind of stayed with the more just shoot fighting, making it look like a fight, especially with kind of how messy and personal it kind of got near the end of this feud. So why not, And then I thought it felt a bit rushed as well. So maybe take some stuff out. You ain't got to do all these moonsaults and flips and stuff. Like let's sell some stuff, which I mean, if Charlotte ain't want to do the job, so I don't know.
That's why I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I think this match was just, it was okay. I think our expectations for it were, yes, I know. Well, trust me, the internet wrestling community, a good portion of it also thought this was going to be an amazing match. Did you not think Santi thought this was going to be an amazing match? Okay, so we thought, okay, we were wrong. Okay. Anyways, so that was that. I digress. Main event time. We're going to probably be on this for a bit, so my love.
You want me to go first?
I can go first, Triple threat. Main event time. Seth Rollins came out first. I knew he would. He is a visionary.
Killed it.
Great. Loved it.
I was like,
I thought there was something wrong with the feed. So yeah, he comes out in this black trash bag looking dress thingy. Goofy looking, but it's Seth Rollins. It fits him. So I was like, okay, we getting dark with it. I dig in. Then he had a flamethrower. I was like, okay, it's not as cool as when The Rock did it, but still cool. The Rock.
Love The Rock.
No. This is not me glazing The Rock. This is like legit. That was a dope ass entrance. He had like a Brahma bull that he set on fire. It was dope. Anyways, that was cool. And then he like set it down, and I thought the feed like went out because it just went black. I was like, what the hell? Like what happened? I was like, shit, did something go wrong with the feed? I'm like, and then just whoom. And he changed outfits, and he's in this white suit, and he looked cold. Then we had the truck.
There was someone else in white that won.
Yeah, that's true. But and then Roman Reigns came out in white. So there was no big grand entrance for Roman, but I actually loved it. I loved his almost somberness of like he came out alone, and you could just kind of tell he's like he's alone. And then I liked the fact that he walked by himself to the ring, surrounded by his family, hanging from those cool LED thingies, draping down. I thought that was really cool thing. It was members of his family. Like Rikishi, Yokozuna, his, dad, Alpha and Stika, So I thought that was really cool. And then, Punk, baby, I loved the little video package with this Fire Burns, playing in with the Straight Edge promo with, like, the original and then, like, him redoing it. I thought that was such a cool promo package to lead into In Living Color. I know you don't like Punk, but forget Punk right now. tell me In Living Color did not slay that entrance.
It was good.
In Living Color bangs. They killed it. Punk comes out with Paul Heyman. It was great. It was
ugly as yellow. Sorry.
Hey, he was paying homage to his his roots, but yeah, his yellow is not Punk's color. I'm sorry, it's not. But no, I love that entrance as well. The match, fantastic. So my favorite types of triple threats, the best types of triple threat matches, are the ones that there's constant action between everybody.
Yeah.
There's not somebody sleeping on the outside. Nobody's chanting Roman sleeping. Like, no, everybody's working.
Kind of was at one point though.
Yeah. So I will say there was a bit when like Seth and Punk went out to the stands and they're fighting and doing all of that. Yeah, Roman. But I loved how Roman reintroduced himself,
yeah.
and then it was like from then on, it was just balls to the wall because Roman don't be doing spots like that. He jumped over the barricade and took him out. That was crazy.
Hit some people.
Oh yeah, he did. He did. But no, and then it was balls to the wall. The match was so good. So even without the storyline and like what happened and the shocking twist in the end.
Can I intervene real quick?
What's that?
I loved they didn't use like kendo sticks or tables, right?
No, not
it
really.
Was
So
all mainly just
yeah, it was mainly like in ring.
Yeah.
So that's also a great thing I love about the great triple threat matches is I love like when it's in ring. Like yeah, they didn't do a crap ton of outside of the ring. It was primarily in ring, and that's when you can cook, man. If you can properly cook between three people in just trading moves and like, oh, he just hit a big move on this guy, and where's that guy at? And oh my God, he's right there.
Yeah.
He stopped the pin. Crazy moments like that, all in ring, you can cook, and that's what they were doing
They really did.
without even storyline. And then it comes to a moment when they're all laid out. Here's Punk. Here's Roman. Seth's back here. Paul just kind of, he's been all somber.
He's been sad.
He's been all somber and sad all night. He's been, and he's just like, I'm gonna get a chair. Well, he didn't say that, but he's just kind of like, And then he walks over and we're like, what are you doing, Paul? And he grabs a chair. And so I guessed this. I saw this coming. And I will say, a little bit of it was kind of like writing was on the wall a little bit. But I loved it. But part of me thought he was just going to slide it straight past Roman and Punk. I
thought so too.
I loved what they did so much better.
Me too.
But I thought he was going to do that. I was going to be like, ooh, look. And then this whole time I'm all giddy because I'm like, it's going to happen. Because I'm like, watch. They're gonna fake us out. But I know, man. And oh yeah, he slides the chair to Punk in front of Roman, and Roman's like, oh my God. And he slides in and he helps Punk up, and he's about to hit Roman with the chair, and then he low blows Punk right in front of Roman. And he's like, I did it for you, and you make me do this, he's my tribal chief, and then, and then what was so good is he presents the chair to him, and, to make Roman believe, oh, he's playing him all along. He loves me. Oh, hey, I'm good. I'm about to win this. I'm about to destroy this man. He hits Punk with the chair a few times, and then Paul's like, look. Just like the Shield when Seth turned on Roman, hit him with a chair in the back. He was in prime position. Look, there he is. He's for you, my tribal chief. He's there. And then he's like, okay, stand back. Let me hit him. No, that's what you think. I'm over here like, no, that's what you think, man. Just wait. Paul gets down on one knee, wham, and then he laid it in. He made sure. Oh yeah, And then Seth with the hand out. Oh yeah. Seth picks up the win. He hits him with the chair. Stomp. Picks up the win. Seth needed this. That's the biggest thing.
Is all I have to say.
Seth, over the last year or so, was losing to every run-of-the-mill guy. At this point, he could have been losing to Alpha Academy. That's how bad.
It was a disgrace. I hated it.
He needed this. Night of didn't really know where they were going with Seth and Paul. Kind of just, I'll let you get your thoughts on the match before we talk about Raw match.
Thoughts. Can't talk much about Raw because
I know, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it though. Your thoughts on the match though.
Is it picking me up from over here?
Yeah.
Okay. I loved it. I've never been the Punk fan. I think they all did such a great job. Most triple threats, you see people get the chairs out and the tables out and this, that, and the other.
Most triple threats, you get one person sleeping. They have a match for 2 minutes. These two guys have basically a 2-minute match, and then one guy swaps out for the other guy.
I was into it the entire time. There wasn't I felt like no one was at an advantage or disadvantage just because we didn't use anything other than themselves. I love Paul.
Paul, if you ever watch this ever, she loves you. She loves you so much. She loves you more than you loved in the past tense. Well, I'm sure you still love him. You're a tribal chief. More than you loved CM Punk. She loves you that freaking much. When Roman came out at the Royal Rumble and everybody's going nuts.
Already?
Yeah, she did. But I'm going to say it again. Everybody's going nuts because, oh my God, Roman Reigns. She went, oh my God, it's Paul Heyman. So.
And I remember talking about it, and you were like, what are you going to do? Paul is this dastardly guy, and turning on people.
It's because the baby face Paul Heyman has run its course. It had ran its course. I love Paul, but I was tired of seeing Paul being this boo-boo, feel bad for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they run over me. Yeah. I'm just here, feel bad for me. Because that's not Paul Heyman. Yeah. Paul Heyman is the man. Paul Heyman is a dastardly individual that will get you ahead. If you are his talent, if he is your advocate, if he is your wise man, he is going to get you ahead by any means necessary. That is who Paul Heyman is. Mm-hmm. And that's not who he was, being presented as.
And I was always a fan of Paul also. I'll get off the Paul train in a second. I've always been a fan of Paul, and I wasn't that big fan of Roman before. But that's what I was going to get into, is I feel like Paul was just getting walked over by Punk and Roman. It's like more towards Roman. Paul was getting beat up by Solo and all of them, and he didn't come to his rescue. He got thrown through a table, and where was Roman? Nowhere to be found.
And I loved, sorry not to interrupt, but I loved, because Seth, the writing was on the wall for this turn. The people who were, legitimately surprised, how did you not see this coming? Seth laid it out as clear as day. Paul, where was your tribal chief? He lost his belt. He left you in the hands of men. He said you could trust them. They put you through hell. They put you through so much misery. Then they put you through a table. Then they put you on a shelf. Where was he through all of that? He didn't care. He didn't do anything about it. He didn't lift a finger. You also pleaded to Punk. Where was Punk? Where was Punk the last 10 years? He's laying all of this out for you And he's making all of the sense in the world. When he sat there and he said, "Tell me when I'm telling lies," I will. I never did. Sorry.
You kind of ended up saying it, but then Punk, like, made him choose between him and his tribal chief. You know, I don't know.
That was the last straw.
I was waiting for it, and I'm very excited to see the Seth.
I need you. I don't know if you have or not.
Paul.
I need you to watch the Paul Heyman on Pat McAfee show, like right after the show. He's so good. He's awesome. Paul Heyman's the best. Paul Heyman's absolutely the best.
That's why I love him. He's probably my favorite
And
non-wrestler.
then that led into Monday Night Raw. Oh my God. Biggest takeaway. Biggest thing from Monday Night Raw is Braun Breaker is money. Braun Breaker is the future. Braun Breaker is the present. Braun Breaker is a dog. Oh my God. Did not see that coming, but I loved every single second of it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, real quick, Seth and Paul come out. You know, they're together now, so we're trying to figure out what happens. They don't really say much. Punk comes out. He attacks Seth, and then he gets distracted by Paul. He gets knocked down. Paul basically says, "We're going to lead this momentum into next WrestleMania." That's about it. There's a new number one guy. It's Seth Rollins. Then it looks like they're about to end the show. Roman's music hits. Roman comes out. He hits the nastiest spear on Seth Rollins. And then he Superman punches Paul Heyman. And then he's about to spear Paul Heyman when a man in a hood hits the nastiest spear on Roman Reigns. And who is under that hood? None other than the unstoppable badass that is Braun Breaker. They are a new faction. I'm deeming them the Heyman family until they have an official name. And then if they do, if it's stupid, they're the Heyman family. I know you didn't watch it with your own two eyes. Your thoughts on that? Just my guy.
I didn't see it. I'm recovering from a sickness, y'all.
I showed you what happened, though. So, what do you think about that and that unfolding and what that means, for the future?
I think it'll be interesting. I never would have thought that, but I'm excited to see who's going to be a part of it. And I've seen rumors of Becky becoming a part of it. And
yeah, we'll get into Becky in a sec. Alright, well, that was night 1. We had night 2. So with night 2, I will say it felt like the first half was awesome. Like, almost, better than, the entirety of night 1. It was awesome. And then it felt like it hit, I want to say it was probably, the AJ Styles Logan Paul match. And then it was, from, then on, it was just, what are we doing here? We started with the amazing Women's World Championship Triple Threat match. I know you don't have a whole lot of thoughts on this, probably, so I will let you go first. Your thoughts on this?
I'm happy Io won. I don't know. I was never a fan of this match from the get-go. I think they all did great.
They put on a fantastic match.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just...
So the story is kind of all over the place. Leading into this, I thought they did a great job with in the match telling the story they've been weirdly trying to tell. They continued with that. I thought that was good. Obviously, they were really kind of trying to sell that Bianca and Rhea were kind of focusing on each other. And so much so, I wouldn't say that's what led to finish, but I think it's just the irony of how it finished. It was kind of like, hey, you guys thought I was an afterthought. Well, hey, guess what? I just won, and you thought you had it. I stole it from you because I'm the women's world champion. EO, absolutely. I know some of those Bianca fanboys and fangirls out there are probably up in arms about this. Absolutely the right winner, because there are so many avenues you can go. You can have, I don't think the Bianca Rhea like rivalry and feud necessarily even needs the belt. Especially like with how that just concluded. Now there are so many like avenues because of this feud, like with the three of them, that you can like branch off with. So I don't know. I loved the match. I thought the match was great. The story going into it wasn't. So, you know, it did it did the opposite of what some of like the other matches like did. Like, it didn't have the best storyline going into it, but it was a great match. There were some that had like a great storyline, but didn't have the great match. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Anyways, after that was the Sin City Street Fight. I'm pretty sure between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. This was I'm gonna say, I did not want this. You know how much of a Drew McIntyre fan I am. I love Drew McIntyre. He's my favorite wrestler of right now. I did not want this match for him. I did not want this feud for him. I thought there were so many bigger fish out there that he could be on Mania with. But I digress. You get your dance partner and you get your marching orders and you make it work. And I thought that's exactly what this was. Hey, this isn't the feud or rivalry and match that everybody wanted, and the fans aren't going to be like, oh my god, yay. They're actually probably going to be the opposite. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have to make it work. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I think they did. I thought they had the right winner. Didn't expect that winner with how they've been building Damian, but I thought it was the right winner. I don't know. I didn't expect... I don't know. The finish... Loved the finish. I will say I loved the finish with, like, how, like, devastating it was. Because it was like, oh, this is over. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. I felt like... I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. I don't know. Just, I don't know with that. That's my thought with that. Hated Drew McIntyre. Sorry, I know I talked about it a little bit with the tag team title. Hated the whole stupid video game entrance. I don't even know what he was half, like, through it, and then they finally, like, showed what the game was, and I was like, oh. So, it's dumb. But, no, I liked this match. I thought I was going to hate this match. I thought I was going to just be like, it's Drew McIntyre, you know. I'm going to watch it because it's Drew McIntyre. No, I thought it was a great match. You know, I thought it was a great street fight. There was some... It was very spot fest. Like, very, like, go through some tables and he just hit a future shock DDT onto the steps kind of deal. But I think that's exactly what they kind of built it up to be. So I was like, heck yeah. So that's my takeaway with that match. What about you, my love?
I wasn't expecting anything from this match. I was not looking forward to it. I think it was a lot better than what I thought it was gonna be, which I'm happy about. I'm happy Drew finally got a freaking win.
And he didn't lose via roll-up.
Like, oh my god. Like, I had no hope that Drew was gonna have this. I'm very happy he did. I didn't have hope that he wouldn't win because, like, that makes it sound like I don't believe in him. But I think he's a great wrestler, and I really hope we keep this going. and he still gets some wins. And
I know. I need a momentum like builder for Drew McIntyre. I want this. I know the match. I feel like was good enough. Like I feel like he was already doing all the great work outside of like having a great WrestleMania match to already propel him. I feel like the feud wasn't there, but the match itself was enough to like propel him, like give him some momentum, man. You know, let him get him something good and juicy, like we thought he was gonna get for WrestleMania, and he didn't.
yeah.
Let's give it to him now. So we'll see. And then let's continue on with this streak of fantastic matches with the Braun Breaker, Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way match. Your thoughts, my love?
I think they did a good job too with this one of not having like, I don't know, kind of how like the triple threat was.
Yeah, like everybody's working and
yeah.
there's nobody like really sleeping, you know.
No.
There's nobody taking long breaks. There's no like, oh, these two guys are fighting. Yeah.
I think we highlighted all of the men on good things that they are in the ring. In my opinion, I think everyone got their moment to shine, and I am surprisingly very happy that Dirty Dom won.
Hey,
that
Dirty Dom
match.
is your Intercontinental Champion.
And I'm very excited to see how this goes. Like I expect great things.
Carlito died again.
Yes, he did.
That man's the new Undertaker. He just dies and then he just keeps coming back.
Yeah, but I think it was a good match. It was probably one of my all-time favorite matches of the weekend. Just because it was fun, it was great. It was, I don't know. I just think everyone was highlighted, and I'm very happy with the ending.
I think that's my biggest takeaway with this match is I thought it was a great highlight of everyone. I thought everybody came out looking like a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Braun Breaker looked like an unstoppable badass that he is, and then, you know, obviously with the whole thing that we find out on Monday, that's just gonna he's see ya mid card, like he's
moving up.
even see ya like lower level main event, like he is in the upper echelon, like see ya.
Yeah.
But I thought Penta looked this wasn't Penta's best match, but I still thought he had highlighted moments. I thought Finn Balor looked great. I'm a Finn Balor stan, you know me, so I know nobody would have liked it, but I don't care. Like, I thought he was about to win, and I was hyped for it. I was also very hyped when Dirty Dom stole it from him, so, you know.
Finn needed the loss.
He did. I think the loss was needed more than a win, because he needed it to specifically be Dirty Dom, who looked like, you can't even boo him anymore, man. He's just so, he's likable, man. Like, he's a heel, but, like, he's cool. Like,
he's a heel that we all just like to bully him. It was just fun to bully
like, Dom. It was just, like, yeah, we never really had, like, a true, we never really had, like, a true grievance with him. You know, like, yeah, he was mean to his dad, who's a Hall of Famer. That was, like, really about it, like, you know. So, no, he came out looking like a superstar. I thought it was fantastic. Great, you know, everybody always working, no lull spots. Carlito going through that table with that spear was absolutely nutty. And yeah, the finish was fantastic, and that place lost it for Dirty Dom, baby. So, yeah.
Can we take a few minute intermediate area to appreciate how cute my tuck is?
Yeah, look at this guy.
My tuckaroni and cheese. This one's Tuck. We had Milo.
Milo's
But anyways, he's been so cute. Back to wrestling, sorry.
This is where I feel like the night kind of took its turn. We have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Where is my man's?
Oh,
Excuse you.
Yes. That was before.
That.
Yes.
That was.
So it was very,
rude.
very. I'm sorry. Well, it was very brief. It was like under what, like 5 minutes.
I don't know, but it was the best 5 minutes of my life.
Yes, I will. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, we have Randy Orton coming out. He had an open challenge. He didn't have a match. He didn't care. I'm having a match. So whoever, has got the cojones, show up. I thought it was gonna be Rusev. It wasn't. It was his lawyer. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I thought it was great. I thought you gave Joe Hendry his WrestleMania moment, which I thought was great for him.
You gave my Randy the
I
win.
thought it was exactly what it needed to be. We weren't coming out here expecting this to be, a 5-star match. I expected it to be exactly what it was. Joe Hendry showed the best of Joe Hendry. What does Joe Hendry do? Like, to show these people, hey, Joe Hendry, if I watched a Joe Hendry match right now, what moves would I see? Like, that's what he showed.
I'm happy it wasn't also a 1, 2, 3 kind of moment. Like, I'm happy they kind of showcased him.
Yeah, like, it wasn't just like a RKO, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, it was like 5 minutes, but it was he got some offense, and I loved the turn, and then the camera, the zoom in to the RKO out of nowhere, and then the 1, 2, 3. I loved it. And then Randy had his moment where he embraces him, gives him. He's like, hey, bask in it. This is WrestleMania, and you just, you're here.
Yeah.
And kind of letting him, and then giving him an RKO out of nowhere.
I love the turn.
And then he does the Joe Hendry turn into his pose. Yeah, loved it. Yeah, that was great. That was the capstone of.
It was the highlight of my night.
That was.
I'm in love with
Then
this
it
man.
took its turn.
I love Randy more than
AJ
Paul.
Styles,
He doesn't
Logan
care.
Paul. I hear you. She loves Randy. Like,
Even
it's.
though I'm mad you didn't show up to Rumble. I was
Stop.
all cute for it too.
With AJ
I
and
don't
Logan.
even want to talk about this.
The whole time with this feud,
Why?
we said,
Why?
why? But we also said, at least it'll be a great match. Did we not say this?
Yeah.
Why are we having this feud? What is this feud? This feud is nothing, but at least it'll be a great match.
And AJ will get the win.
I didn't say that,
I did.
but I
You
assumed it was
actually
going to be
did say he would.
I did guess I did predict he was going to get the win, but I thought it was going to be a great match. We assumed it was going to be a great match. It was not. It was. I don't even know, man. It was just. It didn't feel like the Logan Paul matches that we normally get. Like, he didn't. He felt like he was actually. He wasn't trying to do his spots, He wasn't trying to make this a spectacle, like, make a viral WrestleMania moment. I know that's not traditionally what you go for, but that's what you get out of Logan Paul. That's what you expect. It seemed like he was actually trying to have, like, a traditional wrestling match, and my guy, you're not ready for that. Like, no disrespect. Like, I get that you're wanting to work on that because you're wanting to become a more full-time wrestler. That's fine, but this is not the moment to do that. This is WrestleMania. Do your moments, make this a spectacle, and let's get out of here. Also, didn't like that there was, like, no Prime bottle, no, like, I will say, the biggest and the only highlight coming out of this match wasn't even in this match. Like, he wasn't even in this match. It's Karrion freaking Kross. Karrion Kross is that dude. I am falling in love. No homo with Karrion Kross.
Oh my god.
No, not in that way. I mean, like, the character, the gimmick, what he's doing in ring, on the mic, on his socials, he cut like a pipe bomb on like this podcast about him being pissed off that he's from Las Vegas and he's pissed off that he wasn't on the card. He was pissed off, he didn't ask to, be like Randy's opponent or anything, and he's putting in all of this work for nothing. He's not getting anything because he's upset because, it's all about, they just want viral moments and instead of people who are here putting in the work. Karrion Kross is fantastic. He needs more time. He needs more like airtime. And I think an AJ Karrion Kross feud is going to cook. And that match, I believe, will be so good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's that. Next up, we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match. And
I forgot about this.
It's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyria and a mystery tag team partner because Bayley earlier on was attacked and is gone. So Lyra had to come up with a tag team partner. She came up with the returning, the man, Becky Lynch. She's back, babe. Becky Lynch is back.
Yep.
So exciting. She is actually excited. She don't feel well.
I also just didn't like this match.
This was, this whole thing was banking on the fact that, hey, it's Becky Lynch. That's what this was.
Yeah.
Also, leading into what happened on Monday, so, if you don't know, Lyra and Becky win at WrestleMania. They win the Women's Tag Team Championship. That following day on Monday Night Raw, not even a full 24 hours later, they lose the Tag Team Championships back to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And that is the catalyst for Becky Lynch's heel turn.
That's the only good thing.
I love Becky Lynch's heel turn because I love that that's going to be an amazing feud. An amazing feud for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. But why in the hell did we have to do all this goofy shit to get to that? We did a crap ton of pointless stuff that because you literally just took it and then gave it back. The whole thing was meaningless. And then, not to mention, their Monday Night Raw match was better than their WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I did see
literally, their WrestleMania match was literally banking. I love Becky Lynch. I've been so sad that she's been gone for so long. Yeah. I'm so happy she's back. Do not let this seem like I am beaten down on Becky Lynch. But they banked on the fact that it's Becky Lynch. These people are going to be so happy that Becky Lynch is back. We were. But you can't just bank on that. You got to give me something, especially with great workers like Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, and even Raquel Rodriguez. And you didn't.
Well, you also took an opportunity away from, all the women who are a tag team. And you gave it, the whole, situation, Lyra and Bayley are not a tag team. And
that too, the whole gauntlet match.
Yeah, there were so many good options I think they could have went with. And even if, I would have been fine with, I don't know, one of the other tag teams winning it at Mania and then them losing it on Monday Night Raw. I know that sounds stupid, but, you're giving an actual tag team the opportunity to get their moment and to highlight them. But it was all just for Becky, and I love Becky, but we didn't need.
Or better option. How about we just not have a women's tag team championship match on WrestleMania, and we put up one of those women's mid-card titles that we have. Or TLC tag team. I already harped on it earlier, but that SmackDown tag team, right? Did that TLC could have been, but
Yeah, I know.
gotta have the women's tag team championship match apparently. But biggest takeaway wasn't even on WrestleMania, but Becky Lynch is heel now. Love it. That's that. Main event. John Cena. Cody Rhodes.
You don't even want to get me started on this match.
I'll talk briefly and then I'll let her get going because I do actually. So I will say the good things first.
Okay.
I love the fact that John Cena came out and it was the exact opposite of a WrestleMania entrance.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It was, you expect, with WrestleMania entrances, you expect big and grand, and he said, screw you, gave you the middle finger, you're going to get generic, nothing, as basic as it gets, put a black screen, slap my name in bold letters, and that's that. And I loved it. I thought it was dope. Wasn't a fan of Cody's entrance.
I'm supposed to be the negative one.
I know. I loved his mask. I liked his cool little
dope.
Iron Man mask.
That was dope.
Yes, positive things. I liked the fact that John Cena wrestled a old school heel match. I liked he did heel things. He would constantly roll out to the outside and be like, hey, I need a minute, you know? I love that. I loved, just the dastardly things showing. He's trying to get heat. And that was what he was trying to do through that match. He was trying to get that crowd to hate him. And they just were not.
Yeah.
I don't think the match itself, let me say that, the spectacle it became is what ruined it. The match, the in-ring actual graps itself, I don't think was as bad as we're talking about and what we're gonna give it shit about and what people online are giving a shit about. It's just all the other stuff. Those are the positive things. I'm going to briefly touch on the negative things after I let you rant. Your thoughts on our main event of WrestleMania Night 2.
I need to first make it clear. I am not mad about this match because I am a fan of Cody Rhodes. I actually wanted him to drop this belt to John Cena. I predicted that, and I was okay with it.
She better go in.
I was so disappointed. So disappointed. I think they had some great things, don't get me wrong. Like you kind of mentioned with John doing the heelish things and Cody being, the baby face, all that sort of thing. Where did the story go? Where did The Rock go? Where did he go?
My biggest thing is, why was The Rock ever involved in this?
Yeah.
Because if you took The Rock and Travis Scott out of this was a serviceable main event with, limitations of John's just old. And we would have had a match that we would be talking about now in good hearts and not shitting on it. But we're here shitting on it.
And why did we spend 2 to 3 minutes of a Travis Scott entrance? Please. I'm only on year 2 of watching wrestling. I know celebrities come. Hell, first WrestleMania, you had Jason Kelsey get in the goddamn ring, okay? That was wild. Cool. But, why did this man need to, like, it was like a 2-minute entrance, right? Like, am I crazy?
No, he milked the hell out of it because he wanted to feel like a big star. Don't get me wrong, Travis Scott is an absolute megastar. But, dude, this isn't your moment.
No.
And that's what pissed me off the most about this. Because celebrities are a thing in wrestling that go back years upon years upon years. But the biggest thing is knowing your role and playing it. Because almost always, if you're, the babyface celebrity, they're going to make you look good. They're going to, heel person's going to come out, he's going to shit talk you, he's going to beat you down, probably verbally. And then, their babyface superstars could come out and he's going to beat him up and defend you and you're both going to look great, Or, even the guys kind of getting into the ring, they know their role. They should never be directly involved in the end result. What I liked about, like, you said it, Jason Kelsey and the other, lineman from the Eagles. I'm sorry, I really don't know your name. I apologize. And I love the Eagles. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm sorry, I do not know your name.
Fake fan.
I'm sorry. But what I loved was, all they did was, oh, you're grabbing a chair. Nope, that's not going to work. Get back in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
The wrestlers took care of the rest. Yeah. Cody didn't get his receipt. Yeah, he hit a crossroads. But Travis Scott slapped the mess out of Cody. Cody didn't slap the mess out of Travis Scott. Why? I'm getting my receipt.
Like he didn't even interrupt and just helping John. John was on top. Was John about to, I don't know. I swear John was doing good and then he made his appearance. And that's why I was so confused.
It was kind of I think it was a moment where they were kind of both laid out. So I don't think it was kind of a neutral.
Oh, I think that's right.
It was a neutral, they're both laid out. Which way is it gonna swing?
Yeah.
And then Travis, which makes sense because that was kind of the spot for music to hit, but Rock.
Why didn't it turn?
No Rock.
Yeah. Why wasn't it the Travis Scott turn?
That's what That's why when we were okay at first with letting them sit there, because I was like, okay, he gonna milk this for a second, then it's gonna switch like it did at Elimination Chamber, and it's gonna switch into the Rock's theme. And The Rock, he likes to look like a big star, so he's going, he's going to milk it. He's going to come out looking like a big star. No. He just stood there, milked it, and then...
The match was over.
Boop, do himself to the ring. Do. Dog, we got a main event to get to. Put some pep...
That was the end of the main event.
I know, but, who are you... why are you taking your sweet time? Get to the... if you're supposed to be involved, get the fuck down there. He's trying to make himself look like a big star, and that's what made me mad. And it was dude, you're already a big star. Leave our thing alone. You got your thing. I don't care if you come in and, want to be a part of it, make some appearances, but, stop getting involved. You can make appearances, be a big star, or we can make you look like a big star, but, don't affect my results. Don't affect my WrestleMania main event. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
You're not The Rock. You're not Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're not a giant, enormous megastar whose roots is in wrestling. No. You're just a big star. I don't give a fuck what kind of big star you are. Hi, buddy.
He got stuck.
Don't you get involved in the direct result of my WrestleMania main event? And I feel like it would have been a serviceable match that we would have looked upon okay is if you would just take the Travis Scott stuff out and then took all the Rock and Travis Scott stuff out, like storyline wise, we'd be looking back and be like, okay, it wasn't like, it wasn't Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, it wasn't like 5-star, but it was good,
What happened to the last 20 minutes?
Yeah, I know that like premium live events are like they can end whenever they want and they're not like necessarily on a strict schedule kind of deal. I know that they like probably are, but like typically WrestleMania is like 4 hours long and it ended like 20 minutes early. So I was just kind of like a little confused. It felt like it was missing 20 minutes. Not even like 20 minutes of like match wise, but like just like it felt like it was missing something.
Maybe The Rock was supposed to show up and he flaked. He flaked, and the last 20 minutes.
I need to watch. Apparently, it was on the Pat McAfee show, and he explained why it wasn't there. I haven't watched it yet, so I need to watch that.
He was filming Moana 3.
Probably.
I haven't even seen the second one.
I haven't either.
You should watch that.
But and then on Monday Night Raw, John Cena opened the show. I'm liking this John Cena. I know we're putting the WrestleMania result behind us. I liked Monday Night Raw. I liked what happened. I liked his promo. My thing, and I think it's probably one of the biggest problems with this, is the nostalgia, and like part of me wants John Cena to retire with it. Like he's talking about, I'm gonna retire. And,
whatever. Randy's getting that belt.
Nah.
Yeah.
I have my prediction on who's gonna stop.
I'm not saying
Cena,
he's getting
but,
it now.
No, yeah, eventually. Oh yeah. But no, like Cena's like laying out like, oh, obviously, they're gonna move on with a belt. I'm not dumb, but the belt that, all these people, Bruno, San Martino, Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Roman Reigns, he goes, that comes home with me. And I was like, when he's saying all this, I'm like, why do I kind of want to let him? I kind of want to take it on, man. You deserve it. Love that he, made Mark Nash come back and reintroduce him because it was disrespectful. And at the press conference of WrestleMania, he answered every question with that sounds like a clickbait question.
I saw that.
I love it. I love that he showed the countdown, and I love the milking. They're like, hey, the champ is here. I'm being nice. Take out a photo. I'm gonna do the whole signature. The champ is here because I'm so nice. I'm gonna let you guys take a photo, and then Randy freaking Orton. RKO out of nowhere. We got our Backlash feud, baby. What do you think about that?
I want to go.
I know.
I want to meet him. Can you take my ring back and buy me meet and greet tickets for Randy?
Absolutely not. We have a venue. It's too late.
We could still get married.
You're stuck. No. I'm sorry, Randy. Randy Orton. So, I will say this is great because this does for John Cena this counteracts what I was saying is kind of the problem. The problem is nostalgia. We want John Cena to win and do all these things because we love John Cena, man. He's John Cena. How do you combat that and make him be hated? You combat it with more nostalgia. That's Randy Orton. In Randy Orton's hometown, John Cena's gonna get booed.
I'm gonna cry if Randy loses. He's gonna lose.
I was like, baby, he's gonna lose.
I'm gonna cry. I cried when he came back, y'all.
But, I'm excited. That was WrestleMania. Real quick, I know she didn't watch it. I just want to shout out Stand and Deliver. You guys absolutely freaking killed it. NXT is cooking from Jump Street. I mean, from first match on. they were balls to the wall. Like, hey, we came here to kick off WrestleMania weekend. Like, we are here to cook, and cook they did. That tag team match, I was kind of like, man, this is gonna be like very goofy because they were very goofy baby faces. So I'm like, this is gonna be very goofy, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like, yeah, it's Fraxium. They're like the best tag team in the world. No, it was awesome, and they just continued to cook. It was awesome. Just wanted to shout them out because I don't really talk about it a whole lot on the podcast because she doesn't watch NXT, but I'm watching NXT. You guys absolutely killed it, set the tone for WrestleMania weekend, and I think they carried that into the weekend great. Overall, as we're exiting and wrapping up the podcast, just any overall thoughts, comments, or concerns about WrestleMania 41? You know, it's in the books. It's over. We're going to look back at all of everything that happened. It's history now. So some things we'll just kind of forget about as time passes. Exactly. And others will be ingrained in our brains forever as legend.
I'm ready to see SmackDown in a couple nights. I feel like most of the stuff I'm excited for is on SmackDown, so we'll see.
Raw after Mania was so good. I think it was one of like the best Raws after Mania in a while.
Dang.
And
I'll have to rewatch it.
It was great. From the Becky heel turn to the Gunther beating down, the commentary team to Rusev's return, to Randy Orton shooting a shot at John Cena, to Io Sky getting so much love from the fans, well deserved, and then the literally the entire women's division coming out looking great, you know, and Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and this new faction. What's the future lie? Are they getting another member? Is it just them two? I feel like the shot of them, it looks like there needs to be one more. I don't think they need one more, but it just looks like there's gonna be, like, it just feels like that's what they're leaning towards, but maybe not. But we're cooking. They're cooking. We're out of here. We're going to bed. That was WrestleMania 41. Thank you very much. Make sure you guys check out the YouTube, Patreon. I got a bunch of videos coming up soon on there, so make sure you guys check that out. This is also on Spotify, so if you're a Spotify user, we're also on there. This is the Tuckeroni and Cheese, and special guest before we wrap. Say bye, guys. Hey, guys. Deuces.